Okay. So let's see here. I believe I'm live, right? Think anyone who wants to check. What is up, Gigi? It's been a while, but we're back. We're back at it. So yeah. A couple people asking me where have I been? A lot of things going on outside of, obviously the YouTube channel, right? So, I kind of had to handle what I had to deal with, in terms of what I had to deal with. I had to handle that. And also, it was just kind of, I guess, lack of motivation a little bit too, where every game I was kind of repeating the same thing, and I don't like coming out here repeating the same thing in the sense where I'm just like, well, the Lakers, no, I did not. God, Gigi. Oh my God. Yeah, no way. Um, but yeah, I'm glad to be back. But we'll see who else comes through. It has been a minute since I have streamed, so I'm gonna be rusty. I'm a little exhausted right now. I'm not gonna lie to you. Just watching that game got me exhausted. Yeah, it's just exhaustion at this point. If you watch the Laker game, you know what I'm referring to. The game was over as soon as it started. So when I told you guys on the Discord that, hey, I'm gonna come out live tonight, um, and when I started watching the game, it's just, man. Gigi said, I like the new hairstyle. I appreciate it. Yeah, I've had this hairstyle for about, I don't know, over a month now. Um, I mean, that's how long it's been. The last time I streamed for you guys was, about 2 weeks into 2022. So it's been about 2 months or so. So, um, yeah. But there's plenty of to talk about since it's been so long, right? It's been so long. It's not even just the Lakers, just so much stuff is going around the league, right? I don't know about the Lakers' chances in terms of making the play-in game. I just saw this report by Chris Haynes that uh, I just saw this report by Chris Haynes that AD and LeBron are making a comeback or targeting a comeback on Friday. I believe that's against the Nuggets. So they're gonna lose by like 30 against the Jazz coming up. I believe it's either tomorrow or Thursday. I don't remember. Um, and then on Friday, that's when AD and LeBron are like, yeah, okay, let's try getting this season back in track. So I'm just like, I mean, I don't even know what to make of it. Do I believe that there's a 1% chance that the Lakers can turn this thing around? I always hold on to that 1% chance, but honestly, the Lakers are not giving us much to work with in terms of, I know they've been injured. I know there's all this stuff going on internally. It's just, you can't come out and play with no effort on the defensive end. I could have done a better job on defense, and so could have you guys as well. Gigi said the Bulls suck again. Yeah, they have not been looking good. Honestly, after Grayson Allen injured, Caruso was really the beginning of your downfall. And then Caruso comes back, Lonzo's hurt. It's just, it's like you guys can't get a fully healthy team. And I always thought the Bulls were a good team. I always thought that. I always thought they were going to make the postseason. I just didn't think they were ready to win a post a season series. I think that's a little bit of a tall task. So yeah. Two Savages, my Bulls have been falling off too, but at least we won today. Yeah, you guys beat the Wizards. So, I mean, hey, a win's a win, right? I mean, I wish the Lakers could be in that position where it's like, yeah, you guys are for sure going to make the playoffs. Even though you guys are only about one game out of the play-in tournament, there's no doubt in my mind that, you guys aren't going to make the playoffs. Like that's for sure. Can't say the same about the Lakers, though. I really can't. So that's what we got going on. I mean, it's other than that, it's just chill. I don't know how long I'm planning to stream today. I don't know who's gonna come through. I don't know any of that. So um just gotta wait and see, right? I mean, I don't know. Gigi said we are the 5th seed right now. And Two Savage said 5th seed right now, but we're playing like the 10th seed. Yeah. I mean, you guys are not playing necessarily great basketball right now. Honestly though, like the way this whole season has gone, if you guys make the playoffs and compete in a first round season, let's say you lose to the Celtics, so be it. The Celtics have been the better team this season, right? They finished off. Sonny, you are wrong. They are actually tied for the 11th seed, and actually the Spurs own the tiebreaker. So technically, the Lakers are the 11th seed right now, and if the playoffs started right now, the Lakers wouldn't even make the play-in tournament. So that's what we got going on for that. Gigi said, didn't they lose their center? Celtics. I don't know. I don't really keep up with the Celtics, to be honest with you. I don't watch their games consistently or really at all. But I don't know who is their center. I don't Daniel Tice, is that who you're referring to? Because Daniel Tice is, I guess an okay, solid center. I mean, the Celtics have never been revolving around a big guy, right? It's always been, Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, around those three guys. And they have some good role players who I thought they, at the beginning of the season, when they had the same record as the Lakers, I'm like, dude, they're underachieving like crazy. But they got their act together. Robert Williams, oh yeah. Yeah. I also saw him out hustle AD when they played the Lakers. So yeah, Gigi, I mean, you said that the Lakers were going to make the playoffs, right? I mean, I guess that's what you said, like, I don't know. That's what you said like ages ago though. But I don't know. I mean, even if LeBron comes back, right? Let's just say best case scenario. We're probably tied for 11th. LeBron and AD come back on Friday to play the Nuggets, right? Well, I mean, honestly, I don't even know if it's gonna matter at that point, but we haven't. It's just unfair, man. We haven't seen this team fully healthy for a consistent period of time, and the only time that we saw it was the beginning of the season, and that's not really a fair time to assess how good of a team they were because they're still trying to fit in Russ and all this other stuff. So is AD and LeBron coming back on Friday? Is that going to matter at all? We shouldn't even want to make the playoffs. I mean, if that was the case, LeBron would just shut down for the rest of the season, and same with AD. That's on the players. They decide whether or not they want to try going for the playoffs. But what I've been seeing is just a lack of sense of urgency. It's just I haven't really seen that on the defensive end. Offensively, I think we've been looking pretty good. Offensively has not been our issue. We've been good with ball movement. We've been good with shooting threes, right? I like what I'm seeing from players like Malik Monk. I like DJ Augustine, what he's been able to provide. It's just crazy. I mean, you'd think that it would be the other way around, but just based on the team that we have, I mean, we just stink defensively. I think defensively, the Lakers are rated second worst in defensive efficiency in the month of March. They're allowing just under 124 points a game. Obviously, the worst one is the Portland Trailblazers. That doesn't surprise me. They always suck defensively, so I'm not surprised by that. Gigi said the Bulls and Lakers just need a Will Smith smack to get on track. Honestly, I don't even know what they need in terms of getting back on track. This team is just it's not good defensively, and that's the thing. See, that's why, like, when you guys ask me where I've been, it's like, okay, part of me, right, I had to deal with other stuff, but then another part of me is like, why would I want to keep on doing this where it's just every single game, it's just the same thing over and over again, right? Oh, the Lakers put up 100 plus points, but they're allowing the opponents 120 plus points, and they're losing. It's just not a winning formula for the Lakers if they're going to keep on allowing that many points to their opponents. if they're going to try outscoring their opponents when they score 125, chances are in a 10-game span, they're going to go 2-8. It's not a winning formula, and I've been saying it all this time. Defense needs to be there, and I'm not even going to put that on Frank Vogel because this team that was assembled is not a defensive-minded team. When you take out a Caruso, right, a defensive guy, for Westbrook, I'm not saying Westbrook's trash on defense, but he's no Caruso. KCP, you take him out. A defensive guy, you take him out. Kuzma, a improving defender, right? In a sense, I thought he was a little bit of an underrated defender because at least he played with more energy and effort than some of these other guys, right? I mean, we're not even seeing Avery Bradley. I don't even know what happened to him. He does not look like the Avery Bradley that the Lakers know that he could be. And then some other guys like Trevor Ariza, he had the foot injury, right? So ever since he's been back, he hasn't been playing necessarily all that well. So really defensively, the personnel's not there. So I'm not going to hold that against Frank Vogel. I think that's just a little bit unfair. Is he going to get fired? It's a very good possibility, but I don't think he deserves to be fired. And I look at the coaching market. I know Quinn Snyder will be available. I just don't know if he would sign with us. I don't know if Quinn Snyder was on the Lakers, is that going to make us that much better? In all honesty, I need to know that. Because I know Quinn Snyder is a great coach and all, but I mean, Frank Vogel led the Lakers to 2 top 5 defensive efficient teams, right? 2020, they're top 5. 2021, they're number 1 or 2 in defensive ranking. So, Frank Vogel did his job on the defensive end. Obviously, this year, I mean, can you really be a top 5 defensive team when you have Carmelo Anthony on your team, when you have Trevor Ariza on your team, when you have Talen Horton-Tucker on your team? I mean, come on now. That's a little bit much for Frank Vogel to do. He knows how to get the defense. He knows how to get the defense going. But with this personnel, with this team, no. So I need to know, does Frank Vogel deserve to get fired? Yes or no? And if so, for who? Because really, I think great teams need to develop consistency with the coaching staff, right? I mean, we see the Spurs, right? Greg Popovich was there forever, right? You will look at the Heat and their culture. Eric Spoelstra has been that guy for so long, right? The Warriors, they didn't go and fire Steve Kerr after 1 bad season or 2 bad seasons. They kept Steve Kerr. Keep that consistency. You don't get away from it. Don't change your coaching staff every few years. It's not a winning formula, okay? There's no cheat code. You gotta get through the tough times, okay? So that's why I say you can't fire Frank Vogel here. But let me know what you guys think about that. I'm genuinely curious because I know a lot of people want Frank Vogel fired, but is it really his fault? I can't really say all of it is fault. Sure, I do want him playing Dwight more. Sure, I want him playing the bigs a bit more, but that doesn't warrant for him to get fired. That's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think about that. But other than that, I mean, there's no other way to put it. Right? As soon as the game started, the Mavericks started blowing us out. So there was really no, I was watching the game. What do you want me to say? I mean, I like what I saw from Westbrook and Malik Monk, but I didn't know they were playing 2 versus 10 or whatever. Those two combined for almost 60 points. So it's just crazy. Gigi says he shouldn't get fired. Lead GM just made a mistake in the offseason putting this team together thinking it would work. Yeah, I mean, I agree with the point that he should not get fired. And I think it's a point that's not being talked about. Listen, I'm not going to sit here and bash LeBron, okay? LeBron is playing great at age 37. And he's probably going to win the scoring title. It's just, I heard, when I listen to people like Skip Bayless, I'm like, okay, this guy does not like LeBron. Obviously, he's going to say something negative about him. But the point he made today was, obviously winning is not in the forte of the Lakers anymore. So LeBron winning the scoring title is going to drag the audience's attention away from the fact that the Lakers were supposed to contend for a title and they might not even make the playoffs. The play-in, let alone the playoffs, they might not even make the play-in, right? So it's really just about diverting attention. And at that point, I'm really thinking, yeah, I mean, that's kind of true. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've seen on social media, oh, LeBron doing this at age 37, LeBron doing this at age 37, right? And I'm not holding that against LeBron, but he's very focused on winning that scoring title. And I'm not saying, he should not do that, but it's simply diverting attention away from the fact that the Lakers were amongst the favorites to win the championship this year. And they, looking at it, they most likely won't even make the play-in tournament. So that's just a catastrophic failure of a season. And I can see why Skip Bayless said what he said. So, yeah. Sergio says, "Hey, the man is back." And you know what, Sergio? I think it was about a week ago or something of that sort when the Lakers played the Suns, right? And the Lakers were losing by a lot. They were losing by a lot. And I saw one of your comments pop up in my feed, actually, because, I wasn't too motivated. And when I saw your comment, like, oh, I was hoping to see your reaction or whatever the case was. I don't remember exactly what you said, but it was something along the lines of, I was hoping to see your reaction to the Lakers lost to the Suns, getting blown out by the Suns. And when I saw that, kind of see what's going on in the Discord, I'm like, okay, it's not dead, right? I know I was gone for 2 months, but it's not dead. So that was my fear, that if it was dead, it's not something I can get back necessarily. So seeing your comment definitely ignited something back, just in terms of me getting back to streaming. So thank you for that. I've just come to the conclusion that, there's a very good chance they don't even make the play-in game. And that needs to be talked about more. As much as I love LeBron and the fact that he is leading the league in scoring and doing the things he's doing at 37, that really should not be the story of this season. It should be the fact that this team stunk it up, and they need to address that. And, when I see people tweet and comment, right, the Laker players, LeBron himself tweeted in the beginning of the season, right? He was talking about keep that same energy. Yes, let's keep that same energy. Let's talk about the fact that, this team was being trashed on earlier on in the season, right? Players like AD, LeBron, they're saying, oh, we know what we're capable of. They're taking it easy, right? They have they have a mental approach where they're like, oh, we've done it. We know what we're doing. And they're 30 and 44. So let's keep that same energy, right? Let's hold players accountable. And I don't care. Listen, I like how LeBron is this good at this age, but to me, and I've always held this about every single player in the NBA, I don't care about your numbers if you don't win for the most part, right? I don't care if you score 40 if we lose. If someone scores 40 and we lose, you're a part of that loss, right? And there are only a few exceptions where I'm like, dang, I feel bad, right? An example of this would be when LeBron scored 50 in game 1 of the 2018 finals, right? George Hill missed the free throw, and J.R. Smith dribbled the ball and didn't take a timeout. That was the one time I'm like, LeBron, 50 points, I feel bad for him. But all the other games, right, for the most part, I don't care what your stats are, what the analytics say. If you lose the game, you lose the game, right? You got to hold some accountability as well as the rest of the team, and you got to move on and figure out a way to win next time. I don't care about your numbers. I know this generation, the media nowadays, I feel like I always see a post. Oh, this person's the first player since this person to put up 30, 12, and 14. I don't know. Gigi said, the chat can't die when you have Drew talking to himself. Honestly. Yeah, I see Drew a lot talking in the chat. Obviously the last time the chat was engaging was when the Lakers beat the Warriors. When I saw that, I'm just like, man, it would have been great if I could have streamed for that game. But at the same time, I'm in no position to talk bad about the Warriors, really. Not that they're going to win a championship, but, I know the Lakers are definitely not going to do anything. Sergio says, for the past few weeks, my money was on the Spurs being the 8th seed. It's starting to look more like a possibility. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a possibility, right? But they would have to win 2 games in order to do that if they do indeed make the play-in game. So, I'm just looking at it and it's like, yeah, it's definitely a possibility, but we'll see. It's hard for them to do that, but they're definitely capable of it. And to be honest, I didn't think that they're gonna go on this kind of run, right? To put themselves in a position to be in the play-in game. Because they're in the same position as Portland, right? You think that okay, maybe you have like a piece or two, they're rebuilding, so be it. But this team is better than what people want to give them credit for. So props to them for that. I'm just going to go ahead, look at, because I know the Lakers have the second hardest schedule remaining, and the Spurs, they have the 15th hardest schedule remaining. So definitely, if you look at it side by side, the Spurs are definitely more favored to make the play-in game. But let's just go ahead and see, because I'm curious as to what I know what our schedule is, right? Because we got the Jazz, which is going to be tough on Thursday. The Pelicans on Friday, that's a very winnable game. I don't care what the Pelicans are because we should have won in New Orleans last time. It's a home game. LeBron and AD are targeting return. You should win that game. You're playing Denver, Phoenix, Golden State. Oklahoma City is your only other game where you're like, okay, that can be a win. But even then, Oklahoma City is definitely capable of beating the Lakers. We've seen it in the past. And then Denver again. So really, when I'm looking at it, there's only about one game out of those last 8 that I'm like, okay, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough, but it's definitely, we'll see. We'll see. When I look at the Spurs schedule, right, they play the Grizzlies tomorrow. That's going to be a tough game. They play the Blazers twice. Honestly, the Blazers are not playing for anything at this point, so the Spurs should win both of them in all honesty. Then they play the Nuggets, Timberwolves, and Warriors and Mavericks. So their last 4 games are pretty tough. So I think the Pelicans will make the play, and I think it's going to come down to the last 4 games, which is going to be between the Lakers and Spurs. So it's going to be a very close competition in terms of who's going to make it and who won't between those 2 teams. So definitely curious to see what's going to happen there. Just got to wait and see, right? But other than that, same old Lakers. They're injured, no defense, no sense of urgency, no identity. And that was like one of the things that I've been like talking about, I've been talking about identity this whole time. You look at any championship team, they have an identity. And when I look at this Laker team, I'm struggling to find an identity of this Laker team. And that has been, the struggle all season long. They went away from what was working for them, size and defense, right? And I don't know what their identity is. And when you don't have an identity, you can't possibly be a contender, right? So yeah, Gigi said our schedule is hard for the rest of the way. Let me take a look. I mean, there is definitely some seeding importance. Let's see. You guys are playing the Clippers, Heat, Bucks, Celtics, Hornets, Timberwolves. Yeah, I mean, I think realistically looking at it, that's a tough schedule. All those teams are above 500 except for the Clippers, I believe. So, it's definitely a tough schedule to say the least. But yeah, I don't know how long I'm planning to stream today. Honestly, like this was kind of a last minute thing in terms of me just announcing, hey, like I'm gonna stream. So I might end the stream a bit early just to kind of be like, hey, like I'm back. I'm gonna start streaming more often. I'm gonna start posting more. Obviously with the season coming to an end, I'm obviously gonna be posting other videos like off-season moves, things that sort. And there are other things that I have been planning as well that I might end up doing within the next 2 weeks. I've been planning something, so we'll see how that goes. But we'll see. We'll see. But I guess I'll go ahead and end the stream in about 5 minutes or so. So if you guys want to put anything out there or talk about anything, we can go ahead and do that. But other than that, we can just chill for the next however long, and just go about it. I think the Lakers' next game is on Thursday. They're playing against the Jazz. I don't know. Sergio says, for the playoffs, follow the Suns, man. You won't regret it. I don't like the Suns, never will. I hope they lose in the first round. How funny would it be? Let's look at this realistically, because Paul George is back, right? How funny would it be if the Clippers were the 8th seed and Kawhi Leonard came back? Kawhi Leonard and Paul George against that Phoenix Suns team? I mean, how funny would it be if they just eliminated them in the first round? I would love that. I hate both teams, but I would, Phoenix fans have been acting a fool for this entire year and a half. I would love it for the Clippers to just take out the Suns. You know, I'm sorry, what have the Suns proven? Last year they beat a Laker team with an injured AD and an injured LeBron, KCP, Wesley Matthews. Then they go on to beat the Nuggets without Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. Then they'd go on to beat the Clippers without Kawhi Leonard. Then Giannis gets injured. They go up 2-0. It doesn't even matter. Giannis, from an injury being away from having a fully torn meniscus or ACL, I mean, they choke a 2-0 lead. The Suns are definitely beatable. And I wouldn't be surprised if Kawhi Leonard and Paul George came back in the first round and took the Suns. I really wouldn't be. I really wouldn't be. Gigi says the Grizzlies have a chance to win it all. They definitely do. When I'm looking at the Western Conference, it's wide open. I know the Suns are definitely the favorites, but they're beatable. Like I said, when I watch the Suns, they just play good basketball, right? They're a really good mid-range shooting team. They don't turn the ball over. They're an efficient team, but they're not a team that's unbeatable, right? So definitely the Grizzlies have a chance, but I wouldn't say that they're the favorites. So we'll see. We'll see. Sergio says, I don't know, man. 60 plus wins already. Kind of hard to say it's the same team as last year. Definitely agree with you, but I mean, they're definitely vulnerable is my point. I don't think record will say everything. Obviously, there have been some unfortunate occurrences for championship favorites in the playoffs. That has happened in the past, right? It's just a matter of bad luck. I mean, something could happen, right? Houston, they won 65 whatever games it was in 2018 with CP3 and James Harden. Up 3-2, and Chris Paul gets hurt. So who's to say that something like that doesn't happen again? Not saying it will. I'm not saying I'm hoping it to happen. I'm just saying the Suns, they've been having a perfect season, right? When you look at the COVID situation, right? When teams were missing out on 6 to 10 players, having games canceled. The Suns, they never had that many COVID cases. It was really weird how they weren't having that many COVID cases. And then as for injuries, they really haven't been getting injured. Granted, Chris Paul was injured for a few weeks, but he's back. And there's still a couple weeks before the postseason starts. So I don't know. I mean, Chris Paul disappeared in the finals after going up 2-0 last year. There's a reason why Chris Paul's never won a ring, and that's my point. All-time great point guard, not taking that away from him, but there's a reason why he's never won a ring. Just keep that in mind. There's definitely some potential for Phoenix to be upset. No one saw, the 07 Mavericks losing in the first round. No one saw the 2011 Spurs losing in the first round to the Grizzlies without Rudy Gay. No one saw those. So, people want to say, yeah, the Suns are by far the favorites in the West. Okay, you can say that just based on what we saw from the regular season. But if a team gets hot at the right moment and they get healthy, like a Clipper team, potentially, it's just, you never know. You never know, right? That would be at least a 6-game series in my eyes. If Kawhi and Paul George came back, Paul George is already back. You insert in Kawhi, I don't see how you can't have at least a 6-game series there. They do lack some playoff experience. Chris Paul and Jay Crowder are the only ones who are really familiar with the playoffs. I know, last year they did make it to the finals, but even then, that was with a limited capacity and a lot of the places they've played in, right? The Clippers, limited capacity. Lakers, limited capacity. So, this is the first true season. Oh, okay. Well, if you're talking about the Grizzlies, that's true too. They do lack playoff experience. But granted, like the Grizzlies made the postseason last year and they took a game off the 1-seeded Jazz. So we'll see. We'll see. The Grizzlies are definitely an entertaining team to say the least. They're when the brackets come out, I'll make my predictions, right? I just got to wait and see, but we'll see. We'll see. I really hope the Grizzlies can come out of the West instead of Phoenix, but we'll see. other than that, I think I'm gonna go ahead end the stream now, guys. I know it's a little bit of a short stream, but it was kind of late notice, anyways. I messaged on Discord. So obviously, thank you guys for tuning in. Same people who come in, right? I notice you guys from the Discord. So yeah, next stream is gonna be against after the Lakers play the Jazz. That's on Thursday. That's on Thursday that they play the Jazz. The game ends at like around 9:30 Pacific. So I'll be streaming around that time. So we can go ahead and go from there. But I appreciate y'all. I'm back. It's great being back. And thanks for the motivation, because honestly, I don't know if I was gonna come back without, just seeing some comments, or just seeing, because like when you like post videos, it's not about just the views and comments and subscribers that you get in the moment. It's about passive views, comments, and subscribers. So seeing that definitely motivated me back to come back. And so thank you guys for that. But other than that, go ahead. See you guys later. I'm back. Yeah, I am back. So we'll see. Go from there. But we'll have Gigi do the traditional countdown with 10 seconds. It's been a minute, but go ahead and do that. So go ahead and see y'all in the stream on Thursday. Like always, I did post the recap video on my YouTube channel, so if you want to go check that out, feel free to do so. It is posted on there, I believe. And other than that, I will see you on Thursday. All right, guys. Peace out and take it easy. Once Gigi hits 0. All right. Peace out, guys.